Alright everybody, what's going on? It is your boy C4 here, and kind of, got whooped. The Eagles got whooped on the weekend, so I wasn't super enthusiastic to make a reply video about the Seahawks video. My bold claims, at the end of the day, people, it's my job to make provoking and clickbaiting, I guess, in a way, titles. Obviously, Philly and Seattle's always going to be a close game. I just need to, talk up my team to get everyone talking. It was a popular video, lots of comments. So it achieved its objective, but today is a more important video, a video I've been trying to do for quite some time, but I was suspended, is the quarterback situation of my and our, if you're an Eagles fan, Philadelphia Eagles going forward. So yeah, I quickly broke down all the possible scenarios and what I think is, should be the ideal, and I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section below who should be the Eagles quarterback going forward. If I'm missing anyone that I don't talk about, I think I'm really hitting the nail on the head with every single quarterback. Let me know in the comment section below who you think should be the quarterback of the Eagles in 2015. So, looking at what we have right now on the roster, Nick Foles, obviously coming off a clavicle injury. Hopefully he comes back to form, because you could see against the Seattle game, Chip Kelly does not trust Mark Sanchez to run his full arsenal of offense. We had to kind of, protect Mark Sanchez against the Seattle Seahawks secondary. Where in that game, we needed to impose our will. We needed Seattle to play our game and not play their game, because they're going to win the whole time. Afraid to throw the ball with Mark Sanchez, rightfully so. He just doesn't have the tools to be the quarterback here. So I really think that that game against Seattle really nullified the fact that, Sanchez could be the starter over Foles, because Chip Kelly is not confident in Mark Sanchez to run the full playbook and really attack the top teams, the elite teams where Philly wants to be. So if we have the whole in Chip we trust mentality, if Chip doesn't think Sanchez is the guy, he's not the guy. So yeah, but looking at Nick Foles, obviously the ideal starter. As it stands right now, 2013 is best year, obviously 10 games, 3,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a bit inflated, came back down to earth in this year, 8 games played, 2,100 yards, 13 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. So I'm really hoping during this downtime, he had a clavicle injury, which means he's been able to practice. It's one of those injuries where he can still, I'm pretty sure, have full mobility and all that stuff, he just can't get hit. Being that he can't get hit might, kind of hinder his ability to improve his footwork and his timing and holding onto the ball, which are his big issues that he needs to work on. But I personally hope that if he comes back for, people are saying maybe New York, but probably Washington if he does come back this season, which I hope he does, we need him to, that he kind of fix what's been wrong this season. He's holding on the ball too long. His decision-making has been poor. These weeks, there's been no contact. He's been the backup guy. He should be all out working on what's been his issues this year. I know Chip Kelly has been doing. I think Chip's a phenomenal coach. I think he'd try his best to humanly possibly fix Nick Foles. And I think if Nick comes back and still's making all the mistakes, he's not the guy. And we're not really, it's not like we're committed to the guy. He's not signed. We have to, somehow renegotiate his contract this year if we want to keep him. So it's not like we paid him big money like Colin Kaepernick, like the 49ers did, and they're kind of stuck with a piece of shit quarterback. Mark Sanchez is the other option through this year, 5 games, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but he's set to be a free agent, and he's probably going to demand more money than what we would offer him for a backup role. Some team that needs a starting quarterback will probably, overpay for him. So Sanchez is probably gone. So those are our 2 quarterbacks right there. So the first way of going through getting a quarterback is through the draft. Now, there's only 2 really for sure set-in-stone first-round quarterbacks, with Connor Cook still yet to declare, the quarterback out of Michigan State. Again, I don't even think he's an ideal fit for our offense. So the 2 quarterbacks that really fit our offense is Marcus Mariota, the probably Heisman winner from Oregon. Easily, without a doubt, the perfect quarterback to have. Dream scenario, we'd get him. But there's a 5% chance Philly's going to get him. There's no way Oakland's going to move. Oakland needs a high-round pick. They're probably not going to quarterback. They'll probably be quite set with Derek Carr. But, there's no way this could happen. We'd have to trade, LeSean McCoy and our first and second round pick for, the next, fucking 5 years. The only reason I'm giving this a 5% chance is because, Chip Kelly really is going to try to, if there's any possible way, get his boy from college. And the Raiders are known to make stupid trades. That is the only reason why this has any life. The other quarterback is Jameis Winston, and again, Tampa Bay and probably Tennessee are going to want a quarterback at 2 and 3. So Oakland is the only way we can get Jameis Winston, taking him with the first overall pick, and I don't want Jameis Winston on my team. He's a fucking idiot. He definitely will not buy into Chip Kelly's culture. Just another Deshaun Jackson. Has the tools to excel in our offense, but I'm staying away from Jameis Winston. That doesn't make sense. Quarterbacks we could have a chance of getting with our own pick. One is Brett Hundley from UCLA. Kind of fits the scheme, but I do believe he'll be a Terrelle Pryor in the NFL. I don't think he has the elite passing skills to become a true quarterback, but he does have the mobility and the athleticism that Chip could mold into a quarterback. I'm personally not a big fan of Brett Hundley, but I would not be, totally against us drafting him. I'd be a little upset if we use our first-round pick on him because we do need to improve our secondary. I think, there's a lot more options there. But if we can get Brett Hundley with our second-round pick, not going to be totally upset about that, but I don't know. I'm not completely sold on him as a player. Another quarterback is Prescott from Mississippi State. He's a late second-round grade according to CBS Sports. Similar role to Brett Hundley. I'd say Brett Hundley's a little bit more refined as a passer. Prescott's kind of like, a little bit more improved Tim Tebow, if you will. Ran a lot of read option, big, bulky quarterback. But not really. He's like the same size and build, I would say, as, Tim Tebow. I don't really want that guy either. The only other quarterback we can draft that makes somewhat sense is Bryce Petty from Baylor. Third-round draft grade, a little bit more athletic. I'd say he's probably a more athletic version of what Mark Sanchez would look in our offense. He has pretty bad decision-making. I'm a big Baylor fan. I think Bryce Petty is a good quarterback. And if we can get him, maybe if he slips to the late third, early fourth, and we don't have any free agent plans for quarterback, I'd be all for it. He has potential. Some good mobility to run some of the read option plays and have some believability to it. That's what we need. To have a quarterback that can actually impose a threat on keeping the ball on those read option plays that Chip wants to implement. But outside of that, instead of making the big trade for Marcus Mariota, which is not going to happen, sadly, there's not really a lot of good draft prospects. So, free agency. Is that where we look? I'm going to start from the least likely and go to the most likely. So, obviously, at number 5 here, I have Christian Ponder. Probably going to leave Minnesota. Now Teddy Bridgewater's there. I don't really think he offers a whole lot to this offense, quite personally. I think he came out of college too early, kind of like the Mark Sanchez thing. He should have stayed there to develop his skills more. I think he's probably too far gone. Number 4 is Terrelle Pryor. Obviously, from a athletic standpoint, fits the read option outstandingly. But it seems, I'm pretty sure, all according to rumors, Philly actually brought him in for a tryout. Things didn't work out. If Chip didn't like him the first time, probably won't like him the second time. Number 3 is Brian Hoyer. Again, don't see him being much more of an improvement than Nick Foles and Mark Sanchez. Number 2, Jake Locker, a quarterback that has some injury problems, but is a dual-threat quarterback. Many people forget. I was a big fan of Jake Locker's coming out of Washington. Obviously, it's tough to judge from his Tennessee Titans stats this year. 4 games started, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 135 rush yards, 1 touchdown. Doesn't really show like he's a mobile quarterback, but his senior year at Washington, his best passing stats in 2010, 2,300 yards, 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. And in 2007, his freshman year as a quarterback, he had almost 1,000 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns. So there is that, if he can stay healthy with Chip Kelly's whole, Chip Kelly's approach to player health and player, I don't know, it would be safety, but keeping his players healthy is unlike any other team in the league. If we can get Jake Locker healthy, probably won't cost us an arm and a leg, and he could be somewhat sufficient. So I'd even take him on as a backup if we have to. Fuck Barkley as our backup. But the number 1 is going to be RG3. It seems like RG3 is going to be done there in Washington. Now it's kind of up to, are they going to trade him, look for some draft picks, or just cut him before they have to pay him a lot of money. Obviously, in 2014, Robert Griffin III, 5 games started, 902 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 100 rushing yards. Not the RG3 that we saw in 2012, which was outstanding. 3,200 passing yards, 20 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, 815 rushing yards, and 7 touchdowns. I think this move would make sense. I'm a big fan of RG3. I think that the offensive line and just the system, that he's not being used properly in Washington. I think if he can come to Philly, we don't have to pay an arm and a leg, which means that there's not a whole lot of risk if we get him. He gets on Chip Kelly's special offseason program. We get him healthy. We get him properly trained for what Chip Kelly wants him to do in the offense. I think they could do that. RG3 makes sense. If we don't have to pay an arm and a leg for RG3, I would like to see what he can do. We know he's an excellent passer when he's healthy. I think Chip Kelly could get him healthy. We know he can run the option and the kind of things Chip Kelly wants to bring legitimacy to the read option. We've seen that in his rookie year and what he did at Baylor. We know he has elite passing skills when on point, which is what we need. I think that RG3 makes the most sense, but the jury is still at Nick Foles. I want to see what happens when Nick Foles returns this year. But if not, Marcus Mariota is the best option from the draft. That's not going to happen. And if you told me if Nick Foles plays how he plays now and RG3 is on the market, if I had to take a chance, I would get RG3 every day of the week because you don't know. It's the unknown. We need that mobile quarterback that has some proven history to be dominant in this league, and that is RG3. Just got to trust that Chip Kelly can get him healthy. So yeah, guys, there is my discussion of who the Eagles quarterback could be in 2015. Let me know in that comment section below who you think Philly's quarterback should be. Make sure you subscribe to Beast Mode TV for more Eagles content, general NFL content. We got some college bowl game content coming up soon. Grand Theft Auto, all that shit. Till next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out.
saying peace.